This is Talk with Jeff 360. Yes, I added 360. Changed the name a bit. As you know, I'm supposed to be discussing several different subjects. But again, today we're going to talk about Haiti. You know how you tell people we are from Haiti and they wouldn't have a clue? If anyone still doesn't know about Haiti, shame on you. Haiti is going to get an award for the most talked about country in the world this year. The assassination of a president, earthquake, and now massive chaos happening at the border of Texas. I hope you guys have been seeing those pictures and see what's going on out there. But the story of Haitian immigrants migrating through South America is not new. Since 2010, after the first earthquake, the Haitians started massively leaving Haiti, traveling to South America, into the United States for a better life. Well, currently there's another 60,000 Haitians on the way to the American borders. Well, I guess they got Biden's memo. But before I discuss immigration and deportation, I must say my hats off to these migrants. You know how to survive. You will not let anything stop you to save your children. You've left your home for a better life. Your country, not knowing what to expect. You've taken a great step of faith, literally walking through the shadow of death. Passing many borders, countries, in the sun, in the heat, in the night, through clear and dark waters, with all kinds of dangers. Some of you, unfortunately, are even left behind. All I can say, my hat's off to you. This is going to be short and direct. Okay, so I just want to let you understand that I want to discuss immigration, migration and deportation, because I think that people tend to really misunderstand some of the benefits countries get from immigration and why there's a deportation and why people migrate. If you want a better life, you're suffering, you're in a country where you might be dead anytime, you might get raped, your family, your children are in danger. What are you going to do? That's the main reason why people migrate, for a better life. First, let's understand the basic of immigration. People living in a country where they are not born in. That's all it is. People living in a country they're not born in. The United States of America is the number one country of immigrants. More than 50 million people live in the US are immigrants. Now we're talking about people legally living in the United States. But what is the benefit of immigrations? Well, just think about it for a quick second. I want you to think about it. Imagine you remove 30 million immigrants out of the US right now. Just send them back where they came from. Send them back to their country. I need you to think on this. What would have happened to this country? The very first thing that comes to your mind is the economy, right? And you are correct. The economy would fall apart. But this could be the beginning of a chain of problems that would rise. Various organizations' infrastructure would immediately dismantle. For instance, hospitals, the education system, sanitation, law enforcement agencies, those major tech companies and more. I'm talking about from high to low working in paying jobs. Most of them would have a receptionist, a phone operator, a security guard at the door letting you know that most of these offices are closed and we might hopefully be open next year. Now listen to this. According to the CNBC, A 1% increase of the country's migrant population increases the economy by 2% GDP per capita. It increases productivity in the country. It increases working age of people living in the country. Why is it important? With the amount of retirees increasing yearly, migrants bring a balance at a faster rate in the working force bracket and help pay Social Security and the IRS. Did you know that the migrants are more likely to open a business than U.S. natives? They're more likely. They are risk takers. They can travel the entire South America. Think about it. They can travel the entire South. And I'm not talking about like flying. They're walking. They can travel the entire South America all the way up to the border of the United States, Mexico, for a better life. So imagine that. Most people who come here, they come to work. They want to see and feel money in their palms. They want to have the things you and I have worked for. And it's okay because there is enough space for them. And here's the paradox. This country also benefits from illegal immigrants. More than 50% of farmers are illegal immigrants. Please tell me you didn't know that. Well, you knew. You also have a percentage that are in the construction industry. And these jobs are low-paying jobs that Americans don't want. Fact, Americans don't want these jobs. If you don't believe me, look into what happened in Alabama when they decided to fire all the illegal immigrants working in the farms. Just recently. Shoot, I don't want such a low-paying jobs. Anyway, this is a different subject. Let's focus on the matter at hand. Now transition into deportation and immigration law. Does it mean we have to accept everyone entering the border every time? I'll be direct. No. Laws are usually placed in a society to bring balance among every individual living within that society. Under President Biden administration, one major crime one might face deportation, now I'm talking about non-citizen, is border security. So if we're saying non-citizen, it could be if you have a permanent visa, if you have a student visa, if you have a working visa. There are three primary cases one might face deportation under Biden's administration. First, threats to national security. Second, border security. And third, public safety, like major crime, if we're talking about public safety. So it would be homicide, it would be rape, it would be assault, grand larceny, things like that. So the Haitians find themselves already facing deportation because of the border security crime. But before I go any further, I just want to remind you that under Trump's administration, any petty crimes you committed, there's a possibility you would find yourself in immigration court facing deportation. Please tell me you remember all the chaos happening with ICE knocking on people's door, officers asking people if they're a citizen while they're doing car stops. So yeah. Anyways, here comes asylum. Let's get back to the subject. Here comes asylum. If you are an immigrant and fleeing your country because you fear persecution, death, or anything that could be a threat to your life, you have the right to ask the United States for asylum. It's a humanitarian law placed in order to help immigrants in need of serious help. Now, you tell me if these people on the border deserve asylum. First, a corrupt country with an imbalanced economy where there's the extreme rich who are not only keeping for themselves but ripping off the poor. Then you have the extreme poor. Right now, most young men and women living in Haiti in their 20s never had a regular job, or some said never worked. Second situation. In the recent years, there has been a significant rise in crimes, robberies, kidnapping, rape, death. I remember the story of a poor girl who got kidnapped. They asked her some crazy amount of ransom in American money. I think it was like close to $1 million. Then she got raped by a number of gang members. Then they burned her hair and her feet. I'm sure some of you have heard this story before. 3. The assassination of President Jovenel Moise on July 7th, 2021. I'm still trying to figure out who are those involved beside those they've captured and what's going on. We'll probably never hear from this story again. It'll just die out. 4. On August 14th, a 7.2 magnitude earthquake that caused thousands of deaths. Please tell me if you think these people do not at least need to have a chance to present their case for asylum. One thing you will not do is place laws and boundaries and use them only when you want. You will not be partial. You will evaluate and consider everyone's situations and openly do your best to help in any way you can. According to the United Nations Refugees Agency, about 500,000 African refugees will be looking for asylum. I don't think that it'll all be in the United States. But just compare it to 10,000 Haitians currently at the border. Oh, wait, not anymore. Most of them were already deported. So as this story is unraveling, we will see what happens. But I can't finish without talking to my Haitian people. If you want to stop smoking, you have to begin doing the work yourself. You want to lose weight, you have to work at it yourself. You have to at least start. If you want a nice car, a house, a better job, guess what? You have to start yourself. You have to do the preliminary work. You have to begin yourself. The reason why these people are fleeing is because of you. You Haitian politicians have been on some shenanigans. You've been playing games. You've been corrupt. I gotta tell you like it is. I mean, it's not like you don't know it. This is not news to anybody. You may not be able to change everything, but I know you can make Haiti a better place. There are millions of us, excluding international countries, who are willing to help to make Haiti a better place. And I'm talking about us Haitian immigrants living around the world. So stop putting your hands up and asking for those countries to save you and take responsibility. Don't put your hands where you're not supposed to be putting your hands. Don't take money you're not supposed to be taking. You know that. Not any of these events happening in Haiti are new, people. They're not new. From a president's assassination to earthquake. So it means that there should have been preventive and mitigation measures in place in order to prevent and reduce these impacts. So it is your responsibility to fix the country. Well, I'll be looking close to what's happening in Del Rio, Texas. Until then, be well and be good.